They said her seat didn't belong to her. They said she couldn't afford first class. They said she must have made a mistake. But 30 minutes later, the entire flight crew was silent because the woman they tried to humiliate was the one who signed their paychecks. This is the story of Ava Richardson, the black CEO who reminded the world what real power looks like. It was a bright Monday morning at JFK International Airport. The air buzzed with chatter, boarding calls and rolling suitcases. Ava Richardson, 39, elegant, confident, dressed in a beige suit, walked calmly through Terminal 4. In her hand, a first-class boarding pass for Flight 227 to London. She had a major presentation that week, an international merger between her company, Altura Global, and a European tech firm. As she approached the gate, the attendant smiled at the man behind her but barely looked at her. "Excuse me," Ava said politely. "First class, seat 1A, the attendant blinked. "Oh, I think you're in the wrong line, ma'am. Economy boarding is to the right." Ava smiled faintly. "No, I'm in the right line." The attendant scanned her ticket, expression tightening. "Oh, apologies, you may board." She didn't say, "Have a pleasant flight." She didn't smile. Ava noticed but let it go. Inside the plane, the first-class cabin gleamed with soft gold light. Leather seats, champagne glasses, hushed luxury. Ava placed her laptop bag in the overhead compartment and sat by the window. A man 2 rows up, middle-aged, white, in a tailored navy suit, glanced back and frowned. He leaned toward the flight attendant. "Are you sure she's supposed to be up here?" The attendant smiled nervously. "Sir, I'm sure," he interrupted, voice sharp. "No, I've flown this route for 10 years. They don't usually let coach passengers up front." Ava heard it. She closed her eyes and took a slow breath. The attendant approached her. "Ma'am, can I see your ticket again?" Ava handed it over, calm. "Seat 1A, yes?" The attendant forced a smile. "Yes. It's just, someone thought there was a mix-up." "No mix-up," Ava said softly. "Just misplaced expectations." Minutes later, as passengers settled, the captain emerged from the cockpit tall, confident. But with an edge in his tone, he stopped by Ava's seat. "Ma'am, is everything all right?" "Yes, Captain." He gave a tight smile. "It's just, we had some confusion about your seating." Ava looked up. "Confusion?" He lowered his voice. "Your name wasn't recognized on our frequent flyer list. Are you sure this ticket is valid?" The cabin went silent. Every eye turned. Ava looked at him steadily. "Captain, do you often ask passengers in first class to prove they belong here?" He cleared his throat. "Ma'am, please don't make this difficult." Her voice was even. "I'm not. You are." The captain's jaw tightened. "Security can remove you if you continue." Her expression didn't change. "Then call them." The silence thickened like smoke. The captain glared, then snapped, "Get out of this seat." Ava leaned slightly forward. "Are you sure you want to finish that sentence?" He blinked, confused. But she was done talking. The flight attendant whispered to the captain, "Sir, she's in 1A. Her ticket checks out." He frowned. "I don't care." Then a voice came through the cockpit intercom. "Captain Brooks, Control wants to confirm the executive on board. Passenger name, Richardson, Ava, CEO of Altura Global Holdings, our corporate client for this aircraft." The captain froze. The color drained from his face. He turned slowly toward Ava, who sat calmly, arms folded, eyes steady. "Ms. Richardson," he began. "I didn't realize—" "You didn't have to," she interrupted, quietly. "You just had to treat me like a person." The flight attendant looked mortified. The man in the navy suit sank into his seat. The cabin was dead, silent except for the hum of the engines. Ava opened her laptop. "Let's take off, Captain. You've wasted enough of my time." When they landed in London, the captain waited outside the cockpit door, sweating. "Ms. Richardson, please, if you could overlook." She cut him off gently. "You didn't overlook me when I boarded. Don't ask me to overlook you now." 2 security officers from the airline's executive office waited at the gate. "Ms. Richardson, our sincere apologies," one said. "We received a report about what happened." "I'm aware," she said calmly. "The captain will be hearing from corporate." And he did. Within 48 hours, Captain Brooks was suspended pending an internal review. The airline's board issued a public apology. And in a poetic twist, 2 weeks later, Ava Richardson's company finalized its acquisition of that same airline. A month later, at a press conference, a journalist asked, "Ms. Richardson, do you plan to retaliate against those employees?" She smiled slightly. "No, but I do plan to retrain them. Because sometimes ignorance isn't just offensive, it's expensive." The crowd laughed softly. She continued, more serious now. Every day, people are judged by how they look before they're known for who they are. But respect shouldn't be earned by status, it should be automatic. She paused, letting the words settle. Next time someone tells you you don't belong here, remind them, you built the very table they're sitting at. The cameras flashed, the room erupted in applause. Ava turned toward the window, the skyline reflecting in her eyes. Her assistant whispered, "You handled that perfectly." She smiled faintly. "I didn't handle it. I just remembered who I was." They told her she didn't belong. They told her she was in the wrong seat. But the real mistake was thinking power only looks one way. Because when dignity walks into a room, it doesn't need to shout. It just needs to own the air it breathes. Subscribe to Mr. Miezah Stories because in a world of arrogance, truth still boards first.